I am so tired of this blatant attempt by people like you.
And he lived with his transgender partner. I feel like that's kind of all I need to say.
This 6 degrees of let's blame a trans person. Okay, you want to play this game? Let me play too. Dylan Roof. He murdered 9 black people in a church in South Carolina. A white, straight male who was seen in photographs with a Confederate flag. And as you may remember, there was a popular show called The Dukes of Hazzard on CBS that had an orange GTO that had a Confederate flag on the roof. Dylan Roof, that car, therefore that orange GTO, and all orange GTOs, in fact, all orange cars, in fact, all of CBS, should be to blame for what Dylan did, right? Robert Bowers murdered 11 people in a Jewish synagogue in Pittsburgh, a white, straight male who called himself a Christian white nationalist, who believed that Jewish people were helping Central American immigrants in a caravan coming to the border to invade this country. A theory espoused frequently by a certain U.S. president who often said that there was a caravan of immigrants coming to the border to invade this country. Donald Trump should be to blame for what Robert did, right? Peyton Gendron murdered 11 black people in a Top supermarket in Buffalo, New York. A white, straight male who called himself a Christian nationalist and white supremacist and supported the far-right ideology known as the Great Replacement Theory, had engraved on his weapon the names of Dylan Roof and Robert Bowers, who you may remember I just talked about, and believed that the United States must become a white Christian nation. Therefore, all Christians, and maybe even God, should be to blame for Peyton's actions, right? Patrick Crusius murdered 23 people, mostly Latino, in a Walmart in San Antonio, Texas. A white, straight male who also called himself a white supremacist, frequented 8chan, where he learned about the Great Replacement Theory, which I mentioned before. This is a theory that has also been espoused by Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, and anyone that likes Tucker Carlson, is to blame for Patrick's actions, right? And I can go on and on and on and on and on. Example after example of white, straight men with far-right, hateful, racist, extreme ideology doing massive harm and killing so many people. How about we focus on maybe passing some laws, regulations, and oversight into making sure that people like that don't get easy access to weapons that can do that harm? How about that? How about we focus on improving our healthcare system so that there aren't roadblocks and obstacles financially and structurally to people being able to access the means to provide healthcare, mental health care, to help identify people who are extremely disturbed. But all we're going to do is the blame game. I think I have a whole lot more support for what I am talking about than you do. But you want to amplify the rhetoric to harm a whole group of people who do nothing to hurt you at all, just because you don't understand them and you hate them because of it. Knock it the fuck off.